Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel where we talk about manga and books. As for today's video, as you already saw by the title, I have the haul for July, and so before we get started, I just want to say that some of these I have read, and if you are interested to know what I think about those, they should be in my reading log for June and July. As there's a lot to cover, I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible. And yes, so without any further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with the Manoa that I bought in the month of July, and here we have the first one, which is The Perks of Being an S-Class Heroine, the first volume. So I already put it inside my little bag, and so this is already in the reading log, but I just want to say that this is such a great what is the word, transmigration, I think it's what it's called. It's such an interesting story, and I cannot wait to continue this with the second volume out already. Actually, I have not bought it, but I will do it soon. Next up is a vampire Manoa, and that is on Holy Blood, the first volume. Just look at how pretty the cover for this Manoa is, and this is a revenge story. That's the reason why I got it. It basically says here, cold-blooded killer meet hot-blooded revenge. There it is. And yeah, it piqued my interest. I have not read it, but I plan on doing a reading vlog where I'm only going to read vampire mangas and books. So it should be up soon. Moving on, we have The Villainess Turns the Hourglass, the first volume. And the reason why I got it is because I'm missing Villains Are Destined to Die, so I needed to read another story that involves a villain, but I have not read it, so I will do it soon. Another one that I have yet to read, actually most of this I have not read, and that is Tokyo Aliens Volume 6, which this is the only shonen that I have here. My issue with this volume 6 is that it's really hard to open it up. It's very it's very hard to open this up. I feel like I'm going to damage the spine if I do this. It's really hard. It won't even, you hold it like this and it won't even open. As you can see, I've already done some damage to it, but yeah, I think that's an issue Square Enix has with its mangas, that they're sometimes really hard to open. Unlike this one, look at the difference. This one and then this one. This one stays straight, and then it's just it's floppy. And then anyways, next up I have The Apothecary Diaries Volume 5. I have not read this one. I'm actually trying to read every volume that I own of this, so I shall be reading this soon. Next up, The Apothecary Diaries Volume 6, and we are now moving into shoujo, and next up I have The Wolfgirl and Black Prince Volume 8. And next I have Damon's B-Side Volume 4. This is such a surprise story. I was not expecting to like this manga as much as I do, and I cannot wait for the other volumes to be released. And next is a manga I have really high expectations for, and that is The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. And the art style is very beautiful. It sounds like it's going to be such a cute, wholesome type of story. Next up we have Neighborhood Story by Ai Yasawa, which I have not read. From what I know, this is, you should read this first before you read Paradise Kiss. So I don't know, does anyone know if that's correct? And next here I have Nina the Starry Bride, the first volume, which is still new. I have not opened this, so I have not read it, and I don't know what it's about. And another one that I have not read or even opened is The Kingdom of Quartz, Volume 1. And the art is what made me buy this manga. And A Kingdom of Quartz, Volume 2. Again, the art is super beautiful. Just look at that. It's so beautiful. I have not read it. For some reason, I feel like this is a cozy manga that I should read like in August or like October for some reason. Anyways, one that I plan on reading soon because I want to do a review is Cannibal Volume 1. And this is from a new publisher which is a Blaze Manga. I'm not sure if the second volume has been released, but I cannot wait to read this. I'm so happy we're getting more like horror type of manga that is not Junji Ito. Nothing against Junji Ito, but I think we need more horror manga by other mangakas. And with that, we end the manga, Manoa, shoujo, and horror, and I guess like a mix of everything on this side. Moving on, we are moving to the BL section. Let's start with the BL section, which is a lot. Let's start off with the Lullaby of the Dawn, the first volume. I have no idea what this is about, but I think it's like fantasy-esque type of story. That's the first volume. Here I have the second one of Lullaby of the Dawn. And then I have one that I have not opened again, and that is Manner of Death, the second volume. And with this, the story is completed. Okay, next up I have the Qualua Under the Sun, however you pronounce that, by the publisher Kuma, and I have not read this. But this is from the same mangaka as the Seaside Stranger. Next up I have a Manoa, I would call it, and that is Day Of. And this is published by Aloha Comics, and it just looks like such a wholesome like romance, office romance story. I have not read it. I'm going on a buying ban, guys. I need to start reading everything I bought. And next up I have here I Hear the Sunspot Volume 2 with the Kinikoniya edition. And let me switch things around. Next I have Twilight Out of Focus Volume 2. Twilight Out of Focus Overlap. Oh, I forgot. It has. Okay. So this is Twilight Out of Focus after image in slow motion. This is Twilight Out of Focus Overlap, the third volume. And this is Twilight Out of Focus, The Evening Monologues, the fourth volume. Next I have something by one of my favorite mangakas, and that is The Wolf Is Not Scary by Riko Sakura. I really hope we get the rest of the story and like everything else by Riko Sakura. It's one of my wishes. Fingers crossed that they bring something else by her. I really like her the way she writes her stories, and as well as her art style is very cute and very easy on the eye. Next up is another one by one of my favorite mangakas, again, which is Kind of a Wolf by Machi Suhiro. And again, it's one of my wishes to get the rest of her series, hopefully. And yes, I've read this one already, and you can find about my opinions of it in the reading log. Super Morning Star, volume 4, and this is the last one, and that completes the story for these two. One of my favorite BLs of all time. And to finish this off, I have my Noisy Roommate, the first volume. So the reason why I haven't read this, it's not because I'm too lazy or whatever, but I wanted to read this as soon as I got it, but then I did my research and learned that the second volume is not being released until next year, and I don't do well with cliffhangers, guys. So I'm going to wait a bit until the second volume is out, and maybe up until the third one. Who knows? Okay, to finish off this video, I'm going to talk about the Spanish manga I got in the month of July. And for this first one, it's a BL that is actually getting published in December, if I remember correctly. I don't think I have the date right, but I'm going to put a little the announcement that was made for this manga. And the one that I'm talking about is, in Spanish, is Todo o Nada, and it's by Shike. Yes, so a classic BL, I think. The art is very cute, and you guys guessed it, I have not read it, but yes. Oh, let's see what's underneath the cover. So this is what comes underneath the cover, like character details, I think. And moving on to something that absolutely piqued my interest, and I saw that it was getting published in Spanish, so I had to get it, and that is Brutal Confessions, Confesiones de un Detective de Homicidios, which would roughly translate to Brutal Confessions of a Homicide Detective. Here is the first volume. Here is the second volume, the third one, and the fourth one. So from what I understand, from what I read here on the back, it basically says that this guy, he's a detective, he's the best in his group, but he has a big secret, and that is that he is a serial killer, and he is now playing a cat and mouse game with the police. And yeah, it sounded super interesting to me. So I know there's another volume because I only have up to the fourth one. So this is the fourth one, and I know towards the back it says that there's going to be like volume 5, but I have not found where to get the fifth volume. So if I cannot find it, I'll probably have to read it online, but hopefully I can get a physical copy of the fifth one. And yeah, with that being said, this is the end of this video. We are now up to date with the hauls, and the next haul is going to be for the month of August, and also the reading log for the month of August. So if you want to see those videos, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. It helps grow this channel. And yes, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.